away, and already there's been a lot of talk about player retention, about the big auction. I like the auction, but increasingly I think the auction must become less and less important to allow teams to grow players and nurture them, pick young players, convert them into match winners. That's what all great teams do, and that is why I'm a fan of retentions. I notice that some teams don't want retentions at all. Some want some retention, some right to match players. And while I agree that you need to equalize strengths again, I think 5 is a minimum that you must have for retentions. And the reason I say that, some teams have made very good choices, but even more than that, there has to be a fan connect. At the core of all organized leagues across the world is the fan connect. People identify with teams and they identify with players within the team. RCB has to be Virat Kohli, AB de Villiers. CSK has to be Mahendra Singh Dhoni. Mumbai Indians has to be Rohit Sharma. You need this fan connect, and that's why I think you need these retentions. Also, look at the teams that have made some very good purchases. Picking them up when they were not that well known. KKR with Andre Russell, with Sunil Narine, with Kuldeep Yadav. Mumbai Indians with the Pandya brothers and Jasprit Bumrah. Sunrisers with Rashid Khan. The excellent transfer from Sunrisers to RCB and the growth thereafter of KL Rahul. So these are things that we must encourage. If people have to throw back their players into the auction, then they may not want to encourage a little bit more. So I think 5 is good enough. There's another reason too. Some franchises believe that you need to distribute the core strong players in India, and I dispute that, because I think at T20 level we are discovering there's so many good players across, and if you stack one team with good players, it doesn't necessarily mean, or box office players, it doesn't necessarily mean they will win. And there's a very interesting thing happening in Bangladesh. There's a team called Dhaka Dynamites. It is a who's who of world T20 players. And yet, I think they've lost 3 out of 7 at this stage. It's telling you that you can pack your team with players. That doesn't necessarily mean you will win. There's enough quality players, as Sunrisers showed in 2016. Have a core of 3 or 4 and pick from skills available around, and you can still win an IPL. So that's my view. Since there's a lot of talk going on, I want at least 5 retentions. I don't know if it's through retentions or right to match cards, because that depends on the purses, on the disclosure about how much money you're making. But 5 to me